Welcome to T-Boys TV. We're back again with EFL Championship predictions. Obviously, it's game week 39. Obviously, this game week's mad because obviously there's 3 derbies. Obviously, we are back as well from the international break. So thank God for that. Back to the season. Obviously, my team Luton have a very good chance of progressing into the playoffs again, which I believe we will. And we've got a very crazy fixture this weekend, as we know. Obviously, the derby against Watford. So, obviously, I will get into that when we are going to that game. But the first game, Friday night, under the lights at Turf Moor. Burnley taking on Sunderland. Now, obviously, Burnley high-flying. Just a matter of time before they win the league. Obviously, they're currently on 86 points as it stands. Only losing twice this season. None of them games at home. Sheffield United away and Watford away. Taking on Sunderland, who, shouldn't have had a penalty against Luton in the last game. Let's be honest now. Everybody knows that. It's just crazy how that was given. Then again, I just don't think the referee should have, been in the magnitude of that game. Luton, both teams at the top end of the Championship. Luton obviously fighting for a place in the playoffs. Sunderland, late push, looking unlikely, but you never know. All it takes is a few, them to start getting results and a few teams above to not get results. So yeah, they shouldn't have really got a point there, let's be honest. Based on that, they're away at Burnley. Yeah, I can only see this going one way. Burnley, like I said, unbeaten at home this season. I'm going to go with a pretty convincing win as well, to be honest. I'm going to go 3-1 to Burnley in this one. Moving on to the next game. It is already that time. Luton Town versus Watford, the M1 derby. Now, obviously, the last time we played at Kenilworth Road, obviously, Luton won 1-0. Did do a watch-along to that with my dad. That was the early stages of the YouTube channel. And obviously, James Collins scored the penalty that day. Even though it's only 1-0, we dominated them. And we definitely deserve to win that game. Obviously, when we played them earlier on in the season, this season, obviously we did lose emphatically, which just wasn't good enough at all. Absolutely embarrassing, to be honest. What made it even more embarrassing is they had Bilic at the time, and he didn't even know about the derby. I think it was Bilic. I don't know, I've had too many managers. But honestly, how am I feeling going into this one? Even though it's a derby, form tends to go out the window. I am feeling confident. What I've noticed ever since I've been able to, I've been more into football over the years and I've seen this derby. I've proper only seen it 3 times, which is obviously the 2 games with no fans where they beat us at their ground. We beat them at Kenilworth Road. And then obviously this season is the team that tends to be at home tends to win. Well, that's how it's been. Last 3, whoever's been at home has won. And yeah, I'm just feeling, confident that we can dimmer, I think that's the word I'm looking for, Watford's playoff hopes. Obviously, we're looking very good, despite getting that draw against Sunderland, we are very good, I felt, in that game, considering the quick turnaround, etc. And obviously, a lot of players have rested up now, like your Morrises, like your Elijahs, etc. And I think we'll do it. I really do think we'll do it. I do think Watford will turn up for this game though, and I do think they will try and make it difficult, but I'm going to back Luton to win. Please, Luton, win this game as well. I don't want the misery I had last time. Do you know what I mean? Please win this game. I'm going to go 1-0 Luton. We love a 1-0, and yeah, I'm going to go with it again. So yeah, moving on to the next game, another game at 12:30 on Saturday, another derby as well. Preston North End versus Blackpool. Now, Blackpool obviously trying to stay up. I do think if there is a team out of that current bottom 3 that will stay up, it will be them. But I do think it's going to be difficult. They are taking on Preston. Preston do have the second worst home form in the league. But they are starting to get some okay results at home recently. This is a derby as well. I remember the fixture last time was crazy. I think it was 4-2 in the end to Blackpool or something like that. Blackpool obviously trying to stay up. But because it is at Preston, I'm going to back Preston to win. I do think it'll be a tight one, but I'm going to go 2-1 to Preston in this one. Moving on to the next game, Birmingham City versus Blackburn Rovers. Now, Birmingham City, obviously, they are, a bit down there now in the table after having a decent start to the season. They're taking on Blackburn, who obviously trying to fight to get in the playoffs. They've got some tough games coming up towards the later stages of the season. I think at some point they got Luton Luton at home, and I think they got Middlesbrough at the same, after that or something. That's going to be interesting. Obviously, it is getting to that stage, business end of the season. Obviously, they want to try and cement their place in the playoffs. And I think they will, to be honest. Birmingham are very inconsistent, especially recently at home. So I'm going to go 2-0 Blackburn in this one. I think they might even get a clean sheet. So yeah, moving on to the next game, Bristol City versus Reading. Now, Reading are a team I'm not convinced by, especially away from home. At home, I tend to, back them to get some sort of result usually. Depends on who they're playing, of course. But away, I just don't rate them at all. They've had some very heavy defeats this season, 4-0s, 5-0s. They are taking on Bristol City, who are still unbeaten at home in this calendar year in the league. Bristol City being at home. I do think it will be tight, though. I do think it will be tight, but I do see Bristol City winning this one. And I go for a 1-0 to Bristol City in this one. Moving on to the next game. Now, this is the third derby out of these weekend fixtures in the Championship. Now, this one's an interesting one to why it's 3 o'clock. If anyone knows why, let me know. But usually, obviously, you see with the Luton Watford, that's earlier. Preston Blackpool earlier. I don't know why this one isn't, but obviously this is the Welsh one. Cardiff City versus Swansea City. Now, Swansea do tend to do well in recent times against Cardiff. I think they're unbeaten the last 3 times. I think it is against Cardiff. Cardiff, though, obviously they're trying to stay up. They're obviously a couple of points away. I think right now it's 4 as it stands, if I'm correct. Taking on Swansea. Now, like I said, Swansea do tend to have their number in recent years, but due to Cardiff being at home and the new manager, he's not done too bad since he's come in. I'm actually going to go with 1-1. I'm going to go with 1-1. Swansea haven't really been convincing away from home this season as a whole, really. But I'm going to go with 1-1. I back Cardiff to get some sort of result here. So, yeah. Moving on to the next game, Coventry City versus Stoke City. Now, this should be an interesting one because, obviously, Coventry are unbeaten in their last 9 games, ever since they played Luton, funny enough. They're taking on Stoke, who are, another team on very good form. They beat Blackburn 3-2 in that crazy game. Blackburn nearly come back. Slapped up Sunderland away 5-1. And there was another result there, but I can't quite think of it from the top of my head. But yeah, they've had some really good results recently. Not really much to play for them except pride, I guess, really, at this stage, and just finish as high as possible. Coventry, like I said, 9 games unbeaten. It is at Coventry. I could see it being a draw, but I'm going to go with a Coventry win. They're starting to believe they could get into them playoffs now. Obviously, chasing Millwall really at this rate. And we know Millwall do have capabilities in recent years of dropping out of the playoffs. So I'm actually going to go with a Coventry win. Gyökeres's been on fire as well. What a player he is, by the way. And fair play to them for managing to keep him, because I honestly thought he would go in January, to be honest. So yeah, I'm going to go with 2-1 to Coventry in this one. Moving on to the next game, Huddersfield Town versus Middlesbrough. Now, obviously, Middlesbrough third. I do think if anyone will get second, it's not Sheffield United. It will be Middlesbrough. And I think it could come down to goal difference. Obviously, Middlesbrough do score a lot of goals away from home as well this season. They got a lot of 3-1 wins. They're taking on Huddersfield. I still think they'll go down, to be honest, despite this new ownership stuff that's going on and could potentially be going on, etc. And I am going to back Middlesbrough to win this, especially when I look at battles like Akpom versus Matty Pearson. Do you know what I mean? I just think it could be peak. And like I said, Middlesbrough do love a 3-1 victory away from home. So I'm going to go with the same again. I think their quality will just shine through, to be honest. And it is business end of the season. As much as Huddersfield are trying to stay up, I don't think they'll quite get anything from here. Obviously, I'd love them to, especially if Luton won, because that would help us. Obviously, it'd be on the same points. And Middlesbrough have got a better goal difference, by quite a lot, but still, you know, we've got to play Middlesbrough, so that game's going to be very interesting. That's midweek as well on TV. But yeah, obviously we'll get into that nearer the time. Moving on to the next game, Hull City versus Rotherham United. Now, Hull City, I'd say since Liam Rosinia, I think they say his surname. Anyway, since he's come in, they've done well defensively, a lot better than previously. They're taking on Rotherham, who obviously had that game abandoned against Cardiff. It was annoying because I actually had 1-0 Cardiff. And then obviously it just got abandoned due to the weather. Taking on Hull, both teams, Rotherham sort of in the battle, but I think they will stay up this time round. Hull, you know, for them it's just finish as high as possible, I'd say, really. Because Hull were at home, I'm going to go over Hull win. I'm going to go over 2-1 victory for Hull City. Moving on to the next game, another massive game this weekend, I would say. Norwich City versus Sheffield United. Obviously, Sheffield United want to try and cement that second place. Obviously, they are taking on Norwich, a team fighting for the playoffs. It's an interesting one, this one. And fair play to Sheffield United as well, of course. Obviously, they are in the semi-finals of the FA Cup. It's going to be a big ask against Manchester City, but fair play to them for getting there and going to Wembley, do you know what I mean? It's going to be a good day out for the fans that go. Well, we'll see, but either way, to be at Wembley is good. But yeah, anyway, they're taking on Norwich, like I say, away at Carrow Road. Because Sheffield United want to cement that second place, I'm going to go over Sheffield United win. And I'm going to go over 1-0. 1-0. I think it's going to be one of them tight, cagey affairs. Moving on to the next game, West Bromwich Albion versus Millwall. Again, this is another really interesting one. Obviously, Millwall team in the playoffs. Like I said, they do have the abilities to drop out in recent years. You know, will they do it this season? Be interesting. A lot of people reckon this is a season they'll think that they'll actually won't do that. They're taking on West Bromwich Albion, who I actually predict quite a lot of their games right. I think I've predicted their last 2 results at home right, which in fact I have, thinking about it. Wigan, I said they're beaten 1-0, and Huddersfield, I said they're beaten 1-0. They have. I'm going to go for a 1-1 in this one though. I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw. And then moving on to the last game, Wigan Athletic versus QPR. Game at the bottom. Obviously, Wigan have got points deducted, which just doesn't help, you know, considering the position they're already in, bottom. I did say at the start of the season, I think they will finish bottom. They're taking on QPR, who, you know, ain't been great, you know, throughout the later stages of this season. Obviously, they are down there. I do think they'll stay up because they got better points compared to others, and yeah, I just think the bottom 3 are mudded, really. I think if anyone else that's not the bottom 3 is going to go down, I do think it'll be Cardiff or Rotherham, but I don't think Rotherham will, because I actually think they'll stay up this time round. And I think Cardiff in the end will get enough points, to be honest. But yeah, Wigan versus QPR. Wigan, they are starting to get some alright results at home though, I can't lie. Like, the draw to Norwich was a good result. Beat Huddersfield, obviously another team in the battle. They did draw to Birmingham as well, which isn't too bad. You know, again, another team near them, sort of. As much as I do think Birmingham will stay up. I'm going to back Wigan to get a result here, to be honest. I'm not really convinced by QPR. Probably if I'm going to back QPR to get a result nowadays, it might be because they're at home. Away, I'm not really too convinced. I think Wigan might win this one. I'm going to go for a 1-0 in that one. So yeah, people, they are my championship predictions. So yeah, let me know your predictions down below in the comments section. Let me know if you enjoyed it, doing it like this. The main reason I've done it like this is because obviously if you do watch my streams of championship predictions, you know my thing likes to mess up. It's done that the last 2 streams. So yeah, I've done it like this instead. And to be fair, for championship predictions, I might do it like this. Premier League, I'll probably still do it on a stream, because that never usually has the issues this has. So yeah, make sure you smash a like on the video if you haven't already. Do subscribe to the channel if you are new as well. Turn on notification bells so you never miss an upload or a scheduled stream. If you do want to follow me across any of my socials, obviously links to them are in the description. And yeah, subscribe to my other channel as well, T-Boys TV Extra. And yeah, I will see you lot in a bit. So take care and peace.